everybody. How's it going? My countdown broke, so here I am immediately. Yeah, there's a very fun thing about OBS, where OBS and iCloud is very interesting, where if you have a video that is set to play in OBS, it doesn't register with iCloud that like you're using it actively, and so occasionally iCloud will be like, he's not using this video, I'm gonna put it in the iCloud, and it's not gonna be local on his computer. So when he goes to stream and presses, hey, play this video, it's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Never heard of that video before in my life. Give me one moment. My wife is calling me. I will be back in a moment. I'm back. She was just calling to say hi and that she was on her way home, which I knew. I haven't seen my wife in 3 days because she's been at work a little ways away from home. So she's coming home in about half an hour, and I'm excited. But she was calling me, and when your wife is driving on a long drive and she calls, then you answer. But she was just saying hi. So we're all good. Hey everybody, I'm back. It's Bug from Bug Hunter. Very good start to the stream. Totally organized, and everything is going correctly. If you've never been to a stream before, I play music and I chit chat, and answer questions, see what's up, see how everyone's doing, give you updates on what's going on in the Bug Hunter world, which is surprisingly a lot. I thought that after the album came out, I would just not do anything ever again, but I'm actually up to things. So, okay, who we got here? Jem is here. Top Hat Cat is here. David is here. The biggest of men, Geneva Singleton, is here. Elro, Adam Spartan, Gaelic Storm Fan, Vati, Uguay is here. Hey, Uguay. Crimson is here. My dad's here. And Statue. And Pop the Dragon. Pop the Dragon says, your clock is still broken. And I could make it twice as good as it normally is, but I would need a battery. So I found you with the McCracken song and fell in love. Thanks. I like that song a lot. That's a good one. That's where a lot of people start. These days, though, a lot more people start in a 2-bed, 2-bath, Disco in the Panic Room. Sorry I started late. I'm gonna go ahead and just get into music, and then we'll do a cozy Q&A. I'll tell you what I've been doing. We have invented an invention. You know duct tape? It's not like that. We have created a creation. You know cupcakes? It's not like that. It's just a button, just a simple little button you can press. And when you press it, you'll be happy with no harmful side effects. Okay, our legal teams informed us we must warn you of the button side effects. You know that feeling when you had something to say and then forgot? This is not like that. You know that stress you get when you commit a crime and then get caught? This is not like that. It's just a button, just a simple little button you can hit. It makes you happier for 4 to 7 hours, all depending on your blood type. Also, someone random on the planet dies. It probably won't be someone you know. You're gonna love this new thing, this happy feeling, machine side effects and strings attached. I want this, but not like that. We have revised a new revision. We got your feedback, you did not like that. We have modified the button now. Instead of someone dying, they will simply lose their balance as they're walking down the stairs. It's not your fault if they won't hold the rail. You're gonna love this new thing, this happy feeling, machine side effects and strings of college student oversleep their last exam, and a small business owner lose an envelope of cash, and a puppy will be told he's a bad dog when he didn't do anything wrong. You're gonna love this new thing, this happy feeling machine, side effects and strings attached. I want this but not like that. I wanna love this new thing. I'd kill for something to bring happiness without a catch. I want this but not like that. Thanks. Hey. That is the first song off of our new record called Happiness Without a Catch. And I like it. Thanks for coming out to my Wednesday stream, everybody. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna chit-chat. And I'll let you all know what I'm doing in my world. And if you want to ask me any questions that you want me to answer, I will think about it. Elrose says, I can't wait to hear that live. Right bug. Well, I don't know what show you're coming to, but it is, it's a fun one to play live. I think it has a higher likelihood of making set lists more than some other songs. So David says it's so good live, and David would know because David has seen it live, and I know this because David saw it the first time I ever played it live in Toronto in March on St. Patrick's Day for no real reason. Elrose says almost likely be at a Virginia one or a near one near Virginia. That's great news. How about Richmond? Because that's where I live, and the likelihood of another Virginia show is super high. Speaking of, so I'm not really targeting this stream for people who live in Europe. I know that there is at least one here, but I know that most of them are sleeping. I am going on tour in about 3 weeks, picking back up, finishing off the year with the Narcissist Cookbook in the UK, as well as Dublin and Berlin. It's our UK Plus tour. We got 9 more shows before the end of the year. And then I'm going to start kind of looking at what next year looks like here pretty soon. I had to clear kind of finishing the album and all that. But I've been wanting to do this thing for a very long time where I play every Bug Hunter song at a live show. And I am one step closer to getting that booked. I think I'm going to do the first one. What I plan on doing is having it be a 2-night thing. So I'll play the first 2 albums, Torn Between a Couple and The Rough Draft on night 1, and Bigger Than Myself and Happiness Without a Catch on night 2. Same venue, kind of like a Friday, Saturday night. I found a venue that might work in Seattle, so I might be trialing that show in Seattle sometime in January. So it would be 2 shows with 2 separate tickets attached to it. I don't exactly know if I would do like you buy 1 ticket to both, or you buy 2 tickets to both, or 1 ticket for each one. The thing that I don't really want is I don't want someone to like buy a ticket to both and then only come to one, leaving an empty space at the other one, meaning that somebody who may have wanted to come doesn't get to come because somebody had a ticket that they didn't use. So I'm kind of feeling like maybe I should just like have separate tickets for the 2 events. But anyway, so I'm moving. I'm close to a venue has offered me dates. We haven't talked logistics yet, but and it wouldn't include Boomerang because Surge of Confidence is not a Bug Hunter song. But yeah, I don't know that I could get Boomerang into a live. When I'm playing 12 songs at a show, I would be pretty hard pressed to play Boomerang. Jem says, if those do well in the US, could we get one over here? think theoretically, yes. If it does well, if I can do it in multiple cities, if I can do it in Seattle, if I can do it in Chicago, if I can do it in Boston, Austin, California somewhere, I would love to bring it to London. I think that's really probably the only city in the UK that I could get away with doing a show like that, just based off of how tickets have sold just around the country for this upcoming tour. You know, London is far and above our most attended show for the end of October, so. Kim McCurdy says, scale of 1 to 10, how hard is it to think of new songs? I cannot quantify. I can't quantify it because it's not a difficulty thing. It's not. I can't do it. I can't do it if I try. That's the problem. I feel like if you could quantify, like on a scale of like, oh yeah, if I exert, if it's a 9 out of 10 to think of a new song, I can exert 9 out of 10 effort and then do it. It's not how it works. I either do or I don't. There's nothing I can do about it. It's just, if I sit down to write a song, I'll either think of a new song or I won't. And it's inexplicable why sometimes it comes to me with no effort, and times where I could sit all day long and think, wow, I am the worst songwriter that's ever lived. I will never think of another good song. I genuinely have nothing left in the tank anymore. And I've thought that before writing Too Bad, Too Bad and a Ghost. I thought that before writing Take It Back. I thought that before writing Pine Cones. I thought that before writing the Robin and Bankin fan fiction. All songs that I feel like were very good ideas, but before writing those, I've definitely had moments where I was like, I may just have nothing left. I think that was it. I wrote all the ideas that I had, and I have no more ideas. So I've learned to silence that voice with reason, logic, rationale. So, Batty says, I got one of your songs recently recommended by YouTube, and I've been loving every one of them. You have such good lyrical flow and lyrics in general. Thank you. I appreciate that. That is a high compliment to me. That is what I like to do, and I like it when people tell me that I'm good at it. So. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I'm trying to plan a show, an all full discography show in Seattle. Some people might say that I'm too early in my career to do a full discography show, but I think people would come. I hope. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I know some people come to the show. It's whether or not I can get enough people to come to make it worth it. So, Adam Spartan says, I think 4 masterpiece albums is more than enough to justify a full discography show. Thank you. I only do it because I do feel strongly about all of my songs. I know that people are going to have preferences one way or another. There are definitely people out there who like Disco in the Panic Room, and they genuinely don't like anything else that I've made. That's fine. I'm not making music for everybody. I'm making music for me and y'all, all 31 of you. I'm very fortunate that I've been able to reach enough people that dig what I'm doing. So, yeah. But yeah, I feel like there's some bands that, like, you know, you hear these like stories about bands who they're in like a contract with their label to make 3 albums, and they just phone in the 3rd one just to get out of their contract so they can go and write something, you know, that they want to write without, you know, that label's control. And I could that's like a legitimate reason that a band might be like, I'm not going to play that full album because we wrote those songs just to get out of a contract. It's happened in the past, whereas I don't have to do that. Everything I released, I mostly stand behind. I wish that I had a little bit more. I could, you know, obviously in retrospect, I would have liked a little more experience and thought with Torn Between a Couple. That was something that was released. It was the only Bug Hunter album released before having an audience. So the Rough Draft, Bigger Than Myself, Happiness Without a Catch were all released in a world where people were actually listening to Bug Hunter rather than just like, I just put my songs on the internet for fun. And so I had like an additional layer of like scrutiny of like, I really, you know, when I released Torn Between a Couple, it was like, well, no one's going to listen to this anyway. So let's just put it out there. If I had known that like, oh yeah, like people will be listening to this in 5 years, and lots of people will be listening to it. In fact, I would have maybe put a little more, thought into some parts of it. So I've gone on record as saying I would love to have another swing at Echoes. I think there's a good song hidden in there, but it's not for everybody. And I think I'd clean it up and make it not like 5 minutes long. I think it overstays its welcome. But Gaelic Stormfan says, will you ever come back to Utah? I think that's probably for sure. Both times I played in Salt Lake City, a house show last year, and a show in Provo this year. Both shows were great. The audiences in Utah have been really, really kind and receptive. So Jonathan wants a show in the Midwest. Yeah, we played Chicago this year, Columbus, Milwaukee, St. Louis, St. Paul, Nashville, Pittsburgh, who didn't like it when I called them the Midwest. They seem to think that they were East Coast. Just fine. Just saying. You're like an hour from Cleveland. Honey Z wants Florida. Yeah, we're aware that we skipped Florida this year. It's mostly because it's very far to drive to, and we only had a limited number of days. We will try to rectify that next year. David wants to know how Baldur's Gate 3 is, and that's a great question. I actually was playing it earlier today. Kyle was on his lunch break from work and just texted me and said, hey, you want to do a little lunchtime Baldur's Gate? And of course I was down, and so hopped on, played a little Baldur's Gate. It was great. We're having a great time. It's such a fun game. About every 10 minutes I say, this is a cool game. Something happens. I'm like, oh yeah, this is a great game. This is a really good game. So yeah, loving it. Don't spoil it. Going through it, having a good time, finding all the secrets. Jaren JPP says, what's your favorite song of all time? Non-Bug Hunter song? I always say my favorite song is a song called Maybe This Time by OK Go. I haven't updated that spot in my heart since 8th grade. So whatever you want to say about that. I just like it. It's a simple song. It's very simple. Yeah, I don't know. There's something poignant about it to me that I liked. So how long is his lunch break? It was 1 hour. So can't wait to see you on tour next month. I can't wait to see you on tour next month. It's actually half of the tour is this month. It starts October 26th in Dublin. Today's the 4th. We're 3 weeks away. David brings up OK Go is underrated. They're the music video guys to most people who know anything about them. And I've talked about this before, how if I could be another band, OK Go is like, because they get to do music and they get to play shows and like do the thing that I'm doing now at like a larger scale. But then they also get to do this like really cool creative thing where they come up with really awesome music videos and have like the time to just like spend weeks working on like coming up with a cool music video idea, and then like having the resources to execute it and knowing that like, lots of people will watch it. It's cool. It's so cool. It's so creative and so fun. That's what I want my legacy to be, but with board games. I want people when they hear about Bug Hunter, they want to think, yeah, he's got really good music, and he also made some pretty cool board games. I'm working on the second one, but Time wants to know if I can play with the opposite hand, like guitar the other way. I've never even tried. One of my friends in Seattle had a left-handed guitar, but I never borrowed it because I didn't even think I would do that. I have no idea. Kaylin asks, I'm sure you've answered this, but what song from the new album do you think will be your favorite to play live? I know you've already played some. Yeah, the ones that I have played live are Too Bad, Too Bad, and a Ghost doesn't count as old news. Not Like That, 30 Plan, Platonic Best Friend, Shocking Plot Twist, and Alchemical Romance a couple of times. But mainly the first three, 30 Plan, Platonic, and Not Like That. We played a lot this year on tour. We played Shocking Plot Twist once about 10 days before the song came out because we didn't want it to leak what the song was about. And then Alchemical Romance we tried like 3 times just to kind of get a vibe. So I've never played live. I've never played Bedtime Story, Coward, Robin Bank, Fan Fiction, and technically One Armed Hug. I guess I've never played that one live. But I'm more comfortable with that one because it's an older song. I think I'm nervous about Bedtime Story because the vocals overlap in the song, right? So if I'm playing a show by myself, I can't physically like do the overlapping vocals of like the bear voices, and they're also like they're not just my voice. I don't know, like people have said like, oh, who does the bear voices? Like they're me, but like it's not just my voice. Like there's like a it's going through like some amps and stuff, like some modifiers and stuff, like a pitch shifter. And so it's not like I can just do that voice. It's very produced for the album. And anyway, so I know that I could potentially play, if I learned it, most of the version of Bedtime Story, but I don't know what to do with those voices, which people seem to really like. So I'm excited to play that one eventually in some facet. I think Coward will be really fun to play live. It's just very catchy. It's super catchy. I think it's one that is not overlooked. I'm not gonna say overlooked, but I think some of the other songs have just gotten a stronger response. Totally fair. But I think it's a sleeper hit from the album that it may not be the most popular song on the album, but I'm sure that there are people who think it's their favorite song. So, yeah. Bartholomew says, I just want you to, I don't think that's pronounced like a kitty cat meowing at the end of your name, but that's how I read it letter by letter. I just want you to know I love all your music. Thank you. That's really kind. David is asking, for the new album, do you think there's a right or definitive way to listen for the first time the premiere video in order without breaks on Spotify, etc.? In order for sure. I think I wrote the album so that you could listen to any song that you want to in isolation. You could just listen to Coward and just think that's a good song. You could listen to Platonic Best Friend and think it's a good song. It's fine. But if you haven't listened to the album in order, you should do that. You should listen to it in order. It's supposed to. Yeah. If you want like the full experience, the not the premiere video, but the full album video, it's more like a trimmed down version of the premiere video that has some thematic breaks in between songs. It's divided into 3 acts. It's something that I really couldn't do with just like the audio format on Spotify, but it's the album itself is in 3 acts. Act 1 being called Movie Night, Act 2 is called Conversate and Make Believe, and Act 3 is Silver Screen Nonsense. And there's just a little more organization to how the album flows. So. What Bug Hunter song do you think most represents Papa Bug? So that's an interesting question, because like I name drop my dad in Waving Goodbye in a way that is insincere now, given when I started writing that song in college, and there's the line in there that says I call my mom once a week and my dad twice a year, and me and my dad, I was literally on FaceTime with my dad 20 minutes ago before I hopped on the stream. So yeah. What song do you think most represents Papa Bug? Probably a funny one, because my dad's really funny. He loves Who I'm Singing To. where I also give my parents a nod. Bedtime story is my dad saying bedtime story represents him because he's big bear hungry. Yeah, I don't know. I have to think about that one. That's a good question. I like that question. Cool. I am gonna play one more song because my wife is gonna be home here pretty soon. What do y'all want to hear? Throw out some suggestions, and I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I'm able to do, I guess. Have I played that one already live? I think I have. Let's see if I remember how to do it. It's the old ukulele time. If you're cool with the fact that I haven't practiced it. Let's see if I can remember how this one goes. My honey thinks I'm a coward. My sweetheart thinks I'm a dud. My sweetheart swears I'm a bit too meek. My lover doubts I'm a fighter. My sugar is sure I am neither. My baby don't sprinkle but thinks I'm weak. So you say to me, why can't you be more like Bug Hunter, fighting petty thieves behind the Wendy's, thwarting robberies, defending all the cowards too afraid to be Bug Hunter, a vigilante and a fighter, pulling grannies out of fires, though his spandex is too tight. We love Bug Hunter. You can run, you can hide, can you change my mind? My honey thinks I'm a coward, that I have no superpowers, that I'm just the average sloppy Joe. But you say no, I'll give you some credit. You do seem athletic. When you run, jump, leap from the scene and exit, you might be prophetic, at least telepathetic. So I'm thinking of a hero, no need to guess it. It might sting, but let it. I'd be yours if you'd be a bit more like Bug Hunter. When the skateboard park collapsed, guess who dressed up in his mask with 20 grannies on his back? That's right, Bug Hunter. Whereas you are not around, you disappeared when it went down. I found your clothes thrown on the ground. Why were you naked? Forget it. You can run, you can hide, can you change your mind made up? You can run, you can hide, can you change your mind made up? And do you wonder why there's so much spandex in my laundry when you washed it? Please stop putting it in the dryer. And when I missed your birthday, did you catch the news that night? 'Cause if you'd watched it, you know the lack of grannies dying on your birthday. And do you ever wonder how the honeybee kidnaps you every weekend, forcing me, I mean Bug Hunter, to come save you? And you never say thank you or see us in the same room. My honey thinks I'm a coward, eyes closed and all set to judge. I can run, I can hide, I can't change, your mind's made up. So go ahead and call me a coward. The truth hurts, a lie never does. I'd rather fight crime than your mind when your mind's made up. Thank you. That is a song called Coward. And I wrote it really late into this album, so I wanted so badly to have a superhero song on this album, because every song on Happiness Without a Catch was meant to be represent a different kind of like movie genre or trope, and I knew I had this song. I had an idea for a superhero song kind of in my back pocket for such a long time, and I was like, oh, if I could just make this work in a way that makes sense. And it was like, it was really really late in the process. I believe it was January, I think, that I wrote it, of this year, and then I ran the Kickstarter like January 27th. So Bedtime Story was even later than that. I wrote that one way after the Kickstarter, but Coward was just right there where when I finished, I was like, okay, cool. I don't have to. I was gonna originally do 9 songs and 2 bonus tracks, kind of like the rough draft and Bigger Than Myself. But then I wrote Coward and Bedtime Story, and they displaced the 2 bonus tracks that I was gonna put on the album when I was kind of conceiving it, because it added to the story. It helped kind of flesh things out of what I needed to kind of follow that piece in between Alchemical Romance and Robbing a Bank that I feel was a really good breather. So. Yeah, really, it's just so pleased with how that one came out. Regardless of, I think it's of all the songs on the album, it's the most, it benefits the most from being on like the album that it's on. Like, I think every song on the album stands alone really well. Coward probably leans a little bit more on the album itself more than the other songs do, but I'm okay with that. I made peace with that fact. I was like, this is like this is the load bearing Coward, and that's okay. So okay. So I'm gonna cut the stream short tonight, and I apologize for that. Unless you were really hoping to go do something else and you felt obligated to stay. For those people, you're welcome. But my wife is coming home tonight, and I haven't seen her in 3 days, so I'm very excited. And she's going to be home in about 10 minutes, so I'm going to make sure that the house looks nice outside of my office. My office is an absolute, it's a warehouse shipping center. I have boxes piled to the ceiling. I have one path out of the door, currently blocked by a chair. But genuinely, there is like one little path that I can walk out, and every square inch of this room is covered with things to ship for the Kickstarter. I'm just waiting for the shirts, which I don't know where they're going to go, because as I just said, there's just a path. There's no space left, but I'll get some shirts in here somehow. And I'm getting ready for when the shirts arrive to just start. I got 400 orders to pack up. I'm excited. Cool. The only other thing that I'm gonna say is be on the lookout. Matt from the Narcissist Cookbook and I are working on a podcast, and we've recorded the 2nd episode today, and we're working slowly but surely towards getting the first one out, and then hopefully having a few in the bank to have a cool release schedule. So, and I will mention that Joey did say, if you think it'll only take 10 minutes to make the house look nice, you set yourself down a tough road. It's just 10 minutes to verify. That's why I was late to the stream today. I was kind of cleaning things up and vacuuming, and I just want to make sure that I didn't forget like a random spot somewhere. So don't worry, I did not procrastinate. I'm just doing a double check. Cool. Anyways, keep an eye out for podcast news. It's really good. It's a good podcast. My dad's heard it, and several people have. It's really good. Anyways, hey, goobers, go to bed.